There you go. That's much better. Alrighty. So I remember in the last chapter, Inhuman Mako Shinjinku Showdown Part 26. Thing is like 26 parts. 27 parts now. Uh, at the end of it, we got to fight with Kusabe and freaking Sukuna, which is a bit surprising because Sukuna just basically beating everybody up that's been that's been like facing off against him. And this was kind of that chapter was kind of one that talks a little bit more about Kusabe's character and the type of person he is. Like even though he seems lazy, he's actually like a decent person, and he's got actually pretty good skills, and he's a decent grade 1 sorcerer. And like his technique is, he doesn't have like a special curse technique, but like he's like an ace of all trades, or a Swiss blade knife as they call it. But like most people, he got messed up by Sukuna, because Sukuna is like a really big mountain for people to cross. And when it looked like he was gonna die, he got saved by Miguel. And I know a lot of people was trying to figure out like what this man Miguel gonna do. Miguel, the man that got jumped, not jumped, he got like one. It would seem like he got beat up by Gojo in Jujutsu Kaisen Chapter Zero, or JJK Zero. But surprisingly, he's actually really good, and I mean he's been like he's Gojo trusted him to train Yuta, and Yuta is like goaded. Yuta is like a really good, like he's shaped Yuta to like the type of person that he is now, or the type of sorcerer he is now. And this chapter was pretty good. Get to see like what he's been doing this entire time since after like training Yuta. Get to see like Miguel's like character type, and I like it that he's not like a typical black character that the someone from Japanese like writes. Like he's a pretty unique black character, in my opinion. He is like he is has charm. He's very cool. This is another word I can't think of. Yeah, like the fact that he's like beat beat up an opponent that Gojo can't beat. Like, why would I do that? That's insane. That's like the most realistic thinking that I can think of. And I've seen people saying that like he's kind of like taking Gojo's style right here, and I feel like, and I can see that because Gojo was wearing Toji's outfit in his fight, while you know, and so in Toji, as everybody should know by now with season 2 of GJK, that Toji Joji beat the mess out of that Edge of Gojo, even though Gojo like beat him and killed him. Um, but right here you can see that there is a little flashback of like Miguel, and they're trying to convince him to like join the fight against Sukuna. So this is probably during the preparation um preparation phase of like them before Gojo and Sukuna fought. Um, and I one of the reasons I like this chapter is that like Gege like points out like a lot of things that basically people's assumptions of like how black characters are, or like what they expect black people to be like right here. Miguel's like, why do you Japanese people think that cheerful black guys can survive anything? I have to refuse this request for the sake of the other brothers as well. That's just older people who watch way too many movies, 30 somethings. You've never been cheerful. Sure, he has never been cheerful. He's kind of lazy, but yeah, it's just I just like how he just points. Like Miguel is like the one that points it out, and I really do like that he does this, and it shows that Gege is not like just writing like a black character to be like a stereotype, which is cool. Um, he's definitely very very interesting. I also like that LaRue, hopefully I pronounced his name right, who is like he convinces him, but like Miguel like has like some stipulations like conditions of like everything, and I think it's like pretty cool that he I don't know, it just shows like it's like I'll do this, but on certain conditions, like and it also includes like gets LaRue to like joins in on the fight too. uh let's see here. His heart hasn't fully healed. Man, that heart thing is like really. They're really focusing on the heart. I wonder if like it's going to be like something important. But I guess it's really like a pretty bad thing. But yeah, they come back from the flashback. Talk about like the situation. Okay, mom. Thanks for stopping by. They talk about the circumstance and like they kind of like gloating and stuff like that, and then just cut to fighting, and you get to see what LaRue's curse technique curse technique is, which is I don't know, it's all right. It's not too crazy. He just basically projecting like his hand out, and but the most interesting part about the fight with them against like Sukuna is the fact is like Miguel, like you could see Sukuna doing like cleave, and like Miguel is just like bobbing and weaving through it, which I would love to see like how this is animated. Like looks like pretty cool. And that's one of the things I like about Jujutsu Kaisen and the way that the fighting, the choreography and the fighting is like really really good. Like it has like really great motion. Like look at that. Like Sukuna like kicks like a bunch of rocks while Miguel dodges it, and then LaRue like suffers for it. Oh no, yeah, LaRue like uses his hand projection to his curse technique to get out of the way. And basically what LaRue's curse technique is hard catch. It grabs the target of the curse techniques. He can restore the vital hand after it's restored multiple times, but 1/10 of the damage returns to the main body, which is LaRue. Now, that very interesting curse technique, the one with real appeal is okay. This is like Sukuna's inner monologue. Uh, Medeus, his curse technique called Prayer Song. It's called something else. In like the official scan, not the official scans, but like in the other scans. But basically, prayer song. The beat he keeps with his body drives away curses and strengthens his physical abilities. And it kind of sounds like one of those curse techniques, abilities that usually black characters get in like all of like fiction. Like for instance, like Lucio from Overwatch, he has like a sound theme like abilities. Um, which honestly, I mean, it's kind of like a stereotype at this point, but it's okay. I'm not too upset about it, to be honest. Um, but no, his is definitely like cool. It's not. I mean, it seems like it's a. The way they describe it sounds like it's like a music type thing, but honestly, it's really not. But that's what I felt like when I first read this. But it's really more of like basically like curse techniques can't be like placed on him, and then he can also boost his abilities. And then Gojo, and then this is next part here. This is like a flashback back in like Africa, and Gojo is like explaining the curse technique. Um, Miguel's curse technique has no domain and basically buffs and debuffs himself and his opponent. It's convenient but not very scary. Nice to get to see a Gojo. It's so crazy that if you don't know that not Gojo, Gege doesn't really like a Gojo like that. Like he, in fact, has been on record saying that he hates the character. He made him like way too strong, and I think he's been waiting for like something to happen. Like ever since like he has died in his fight against Sukuna. He has been waiting. Like he's been waiting for like the moment. And honestly, when I feel like ever since like the beginning, really like one of the reasons why Sukuna hasn't really done anything up until like the Culling games, and the reason why he got like Gojo trapped in like the prison realm is so like he can think of like a way like how this man Gojo is gonna die, and he was finally able to figure out, once like the Culling, like sometime during the Culling games arc. Um, but yeah, no, we get here where I'm assuming this is where like Gojo is about to like leave Yuta in like Miguel's like care, and they talk about his curse technique, and then Miguel's Miguel just like just trying to figure out like how you found out. He was like, well, I just saw it. It was easy to figure out. And then Gojo goes into this little, and this is probably like one of the best pages of it. Um, this man not Miguel, Gojo goes into like this whole thing about how what's frightening about Miguel having this technique is because of his physique, and saying that that's because 99% of sorcerers are Japanese, and on top of your different bone structure and musculature, you have curse energy reinforcement, and that alone makes you a threat. Basically saying that because Gojo's basically saying because Gojo is black, and he has like he has a better physique and different bone structure, makes him a threat, not because of his curse technique. Which Miguel, once again, like I said, is one of the reasons why I like Miguel, and I really like Gege from doing this, is like saying that this is like a racist stereotype, and not all black men are athletic. And he's like, I'm special because I'm black. I'm not special because I'm black. I'm just me. And in the scans that I read, this was said different. It's like I'm not special because I'm black. I'm special because I'm me. And so that's the whole reason for like the title. Um, and then Gojo apologizes, and then he says, "I forgive you," but this is interesting. Seeing like the official scans. Um, I should probably read the official scans to see like the difference. But in the other scans, they're just you know, yeah, Miguel says like whatever here, but he says he forgives him. And then Yuta, like like everyone's asking, would would that be a threat to you? And basically, I could beat linear movement, but would probably lose in point movement. What the fuck does that mean? What does that mean? One-dimensional motion. Who talks like this? Hold on. I don't know if I can explain it well, but if Miguel and I completely physically without curse technique, but with curse energy reinforcement, I could beat linear movement, which linear movement is one-dimensional motion along a straight line, therefore can be described mathematically using on one spatial dimension. And what is point movement? Sorry. Um. Okay, so originally it's saying that this is like the marathon, and then but he would lose in the sprint. So this is a weird like this is weird. This is like a weird like phrasing, but basically saying that if Gojo's not careful in the beginning, Miguel could beat him. If it was like without curse techniques and just curse reinforcement. And as we can see here, it's cut to Sukuna getting mollywopped. Yeah, this man Miguel got skills like he's handling like these extra arms that Sukuna got and like are rocking the fuck out of him. Then we get a surprise appearance from Chozo, who got like you know thrown away like trash in like earlier chapters. Then we got Yuji coming in like he did like in season 1 against like Mahito when Mahito used his domain expansion on him. So yeah, and it's crazy. It's just it's interesting like how I think Yuji's and Sukuna's relationship is very interesting, and I would love to see like what's going to happen like later on with them, and like what's going to like happen. Like what I mean by what's going to happen is like how like everything all connects with each other. Because there was like a there's a couple of chapters ago where like Sukuna was talking about how much the reason why he was having an inner monologue about the reason why Yuji like disgusts him or like why he doesn't like Yuji, and like he just finds him annoying, and like he reminds him of like the weakness of like humanity, but the problem with like Yuji is that he keeps getting stronger, and so like basically like they're two sides of the same coin. So like they have the same ideals or like the same motivations, and not motivations, no, they have different motivations. They have the same drive, ambition, I guess is what I'm getting at, but like but they like go about it a different way. Like Yuji wants to help people while Sukuna is just solely just out here for himself. Um and then they go into it about Sukuna's technique dismantle, um and they talk about how it requires like that what it requires to activate, um and like he needs to use a sign to like a hand sign to like activate the curse technique. And then we get here, it's like his hands been cut off, so now Sukuna is like down to one hand, it says. Because I remember earlier in the chapters, what does Miguel and LaRue say? He doesn't have domain. Gojo left a nice souvenir. You mean a parting gift. Furthermore, his reverse curse technique is weak, and of all his forearms, the lower left one is incomplete, and the lower right isn't combat functional. So the two lower arms, they're not good. Hold on. Yeah. So like really he's been working with like two arms, really. Like he has three, but one of them's not combat functional. Oh, let me see if he's been like using that lower right one. No, he's not using it here. Yo, this is so cool. This part here, like this, him just dodging the dismantles. Like there's only like a couple people that's able to do it. Maki, Magaraga, and Miguel being the third person. It's really cool. Maybe Gojo too. Yeah, he's still not using that third arm. Yeah, he's not using that third arm. Yeah. So yeah, he's just been using the two arms. I wouldn't be surprised if he like if Sukuna's got something up his sleeves. Cuz honestly, he's been like right now it just seems like everybody is like coming in and well, actually hold on, let's go to the next page to see who chopped off his arm. And your girl Maki is back after getting hit by the fucking black fat flash. I figured, she wasn't gonna let it die because it's just Maki. I don't think Maki's gonna die. Uh, and like even Sukuna is surprised by it. It's like, dang, I hit her with a black fire. She's still alive? Yeah, this girl's goated. And you can see Sukuna's hand. And now Yuji's getting that hopium. So we can do this. We can do this. And I can see like once they like animate this is going to be like a slow motion animating of like Yuji fighting. And then Black Flash. And then LaRue gets hit by the fucking Black Flash. And it's interesting that what you call it, Gege brings to mention that Gojo regained his reverse curse technique after two Black Flashes. But as for the King of Curses, and then the chapter ends there. So and it looks like there's not going to be no break. Next chapter's on April 7th, so I can't wait to see that 7 days from now. But I really enjoyed this chapter. This was there's 20 pages. This is a really good chapter. I think what you call it. It was nice to see Miguel. Like I had in the beginning when I first heard Miguel was going to be um it was like Miguel was going to be like the savior in the last chapter. I didn't really know that much about Miguel, to be honest. I was like, yo, who's this guy? Well, I know who this guy is. He's the one that was getting slapboxed by a Gojo in the Jujutsu Kaisen uh, movie Zero. And I was like, what's this man gonna do? He got his bitch slapped. But I watched the fight some more, and Miguel was honestly he was putting up a good fight. He was holding his own, and like he survived the fight too. Like he with like not any like major damages either, which is impressive because you're going against Gojo, who at this point is like declared the strongest. This is after Toji, the hidden inventory arc. So Gojo was like has mastered his curse technique to like its utmost maximum. And even then, Gojo himself pawned off like Yuta onto offered to Miguel to help him train to become a better sorcerer, which Yuta is a better sorcerer now. Like he's goated. Like he has yeah, if you just need to see the Calling Games arc to see like Yuta like just go ham on like and like four reincarnated sorcerers like almost at the same time like by himself, which is crazy. um but yeah, it was nice to see Miguel learn about his character, his curse technique, which is like a very interesting technique, very unique, which makes sense of like how he survived his fight against like Gojo. And I do like Miguel's like personality, like he's not he's not too like overly confident about himself, even though like he can say that he survived a fight against what you call it, a Gojo, which is like really impressive on itself. And like Gojo, even though he lost his fight against Sukuna, he still did some damage to Sukuna. Um, and it was just nice to see like how Miguel, his like viewpoint of things, and like he's kind of like the person who has to correct these Japanese people's way of thinking. It's like we're not, black people aren't like we're not all athletic, like he said, which is honestly crazy that that page even like existed. But I'm glad it does, because I do feel like I think that this chapter kind of like opens up dialogue about like how black people are viewed in like Japanese media. Um, because they, the guys over there, they don't know a lot about it. They're kind of like, kind of isolated. There's not a lot of like other other races like that. Like not a lot of them. There are some races. I mean, nowadays there's a lot more black people over there than there has been like in the past. So that's why you got those messed up stereotypes in like other series, like for example, Dragon Ball and whatnot. But it's still, it's still like even to this day, it's getting better. There's a lot of like manga and anime series that has done black people justice. Like for example, Soul Eater, uh, the artist does a really great job of drawing like black people or dark skinned characters. I would say I would say Naruto, um, Kash, Kishimoto. He did a really good job. Basically the whole Cloud Village were like full of black people, and then they were great designs for them. That's the only thing I can. That's the only series I could think of at this moment right now. Oh, Bleach. Yeah, Bleach does. They do a great job. Taikubo, he does a great job of it. But yeah, I feel like this is like a great representation of like a black character, and I love the fact that he just points out and like refute, like just say that. He just basically like tell them, hey, you're actually wrong about this. We're not all the same. Um, I know some people might think, I hate to be that type of character, but it is what it is. Um, uh, LaRue's curse technique kind of like sucks. I don't know. I mean, it's interesting, but it kind of sucks because you get like damage when you get like hit. So, but and And I wonder how other people feel about, at the end where like Sukuna did like the Black Flash. I wonder if like, they're getting like this fatigue about Sukuna is just like winning and winning and winning. Honestly, I'm not feeling that fatigue at all. I honestly feel great about like this entire thing. 'Cause it honestly like makes sense for me, 'cause the way that Sukuna has been built up the entire series, like chapter one, from chapter one of Jujutsu Kaisen, Sukuna has been put on this pedestal of like being like the king of curses, like this goat, this god, and from chapter one all the way until you know all the way until like the end of like the calling games. Well, the calling game still is happening, but like the end of like the main part of it, when like he switched bodies. Sukuna hasn't really has been like kind of like like silent, has been like on the back burner, hasn't really been interacting with the world like that. Like there's a couple of times where he has like his fight with against Mahito, oh Yuji's fight against Mahito, and that's only because Mahito like invaded his space. It's like, get away from me. Uh, the the next time he fight was like not Secu, Shibuya arc, the Shibuya incident, and that was the goal to get to see a taste of like what he was like. But after that he's been kind of like on a back burner and not really doing stuff like that. And he just been kind of like watching. But since then, like the Gege has been like building up Sukuna as his god, and now everybody is like seeing like what type of like god he is. Like they're whittling him down one by one, and I think that's the point of like this fight. Like it's everybody versus like Sukuna, like this god, and I feel like I don't know. I actually kind of like it, because a lot of series is kind of like that one-on-one thing against like the final boss, and sometimes that is like I like it. I like it when that happens too, when it's like a one-on-one fight when the main character and like the final villain, because like it's like the accumulation of like all of the struggles of that the main character. But I feel like Jujutsu Kaisen is more than just like one person, one main character. Like Yuji, like even though Yuji is the main character of like Jujutsu Kaisen, and um, but it feels like it's like everybody, like just everybody that has came and went in this series and died. They're like it feels like it's everybody's story, not just Yuji's story. Hey Yoshi, what's up?